welcome to Jersey City Boxing Fan. Welcome to my new channel. This is the first video, hopefully of many. We're in the middle of the quarantine of 2020. It's May 11th. And, you know, I've been home now for 2 months with my wife and kids and my dog. And, you know, doing work from home. And it's been interesting. You know, I have a second job that I haven't been able to do. So I'm away a lot at night, and you know, I've been home. It's been kind of nice. So what have I done? Kind of reconnected with boxing. So started watching a lot of old fights. In the 70s, I'm almost 50. In the 1970s, 1980s, 1990s, you know, that's all I watched was boxing. Like, I love Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson. You know, my main people: Mike Tyson, Arturo Gatti. But I love all the boxers of that era. Around the 2000s, you know, maybe 2002, 2003, I kind of fell off a little bit for a variety of reasons, and I haven't been watching as much. So now I'm reconnecting, watching a lot of old fights that I missed, looking at a lot of boxers that I missed over that time, and trying to catch up on my knowledge. In my description, I say, I'm not an expert. I'm not claiming to be an expert. I'm just a fan. And this channel kind of came about because I was posting a lot of stuff on Facebook, you know, matchups, like boxing matchup, who would win, this person and this person. And a lot of people started replying to the posts, and I got some really detailed replies that, you know, I kind of thought, you know what, this deserves to be, you know, put on video and talked about in the channel. You know, I don't have permission to use their name, so I don't yet. I should have asked first, but one person, Matt F. in particular, I mean, the descriptions of these hypothetical matchups are just like stellar, amazing. And you know, I have a lot of other people responding too. So another thing I want to talk about is that I actually feel as though this whole reconnecting with boxing, there's an even bigger issue going on. And not to get too sentimental, but today is would have been my father's 84th birthday. He's been gone now 6 years. So the more I got into boxing recently, like reconnecting with it, watching it again, I started to realize that, wait, what am I doing? Am I reconnecting with boxing, or, you know, armchair psychologist, am I reconnecting with my father? Because, you know, my father was born in Northern Ireland, in 1936, and he emigrated here in 1967. And you know, he loved boxing. I like boxing because of him. You know, he as a kid, he really got me into Muhammad Ali. I remember actually, you know, I was born in the United States, but I remember being on vacation in Bangor, Northern Ireland, and I remember him telling me that Muhammad Ali just won his title back from Leon Spinks. It was like the night before, and he woke up and it was in the newspapers or whatever. And I remember thinking, oh wow. And I remember him saying, like, that's the first time anyone did it 3 times. You know, it's funny what you remember your dad. You know, he used to watch, man, Tuesday night fights on USA channel back in the, like, I think it was like the late 80s and 90s. What a show. Every Tuesday night you get to watch, you know, up and coming fighters. Sometimes there's people maybe on the way down, but you know, you had Sean O'Grady on that. The Marv Albert's brother that I for some reason can't remember his first name right now, but what a show. I mean, every week you had stuff going on. I remember, like, there was some great matchups on that. And of course the HBO boxing, you know, my dad used to watch that with me. Jim Lampley, Larry Hazard, George Foreman, Roy Jones. I mean, what great shows, you know? What great shows. And I remember it was like around 1998, I watched the final Tuesday night fights. And I remember, I think, if I'm not mistaken, you know, I should have looked it up ahead of time, but it was probably in the summer. And I remember I think I just may have been separated from my first wife, and I remember just sitting, my kids were there, and I remember sitting with by myself watching this, and I cried. Tears were coming to my eyes, because this was something that me and my dad shared, and even though he was alive at the time, and we did not watch that together. That's strange. We didn't watch the last show together, but for whatever reason. But you know, I associate boxing with my dad, so I really thank him. And he used to bring me to the closed circuit fights. He loved Barry McGuigan because he was from Ireland, and he took me to see Barry McGuigan lose actually to Stevie Cruz in a closed circuit, not to the actual fight, but we watched it in, I think it was Elizabeth, New Jersey. And you know, man, it was just like beautiful to go there with him. And he took me to, what else? We saw Michael Spinks, Jerry Cooney on closed circuit, Michael Spinks, Mike Tyson on closed circuit. And then, you know, when the fights started going pay-per-view, you know, he would always say, ask your mom to let us get the fight, and we'd have to sometimes beg her to do it because we didn't have a lot of money, you know. So $60 back then or whatever it was a lot of money for some of these big fights. So I'm rambling about my dad. I guess, you know, future videos probably won't be like that, but I just kind of wanted to set up why I'm doing this. And, you know, I think it's going to be a little bit cathartic for me too, like going through all these fights and talking about matchups. And it's kind of cool thinking back on how the relationship you have with your father, even when your dad passes away, you know, it stays with you through your whole life. I mean, that's who you base yourself on. You tried to base yourself on. And he was a great man. He was a great, you know, family man, awesome person, gave of himself, never thought about himself. That's one thing that I feel like I could have done better in life. You know, I feel like I'm only child and selfish sometimes, and, you know, I could be more like him. Luckily, I have my mom, and she's still alive, and we get to see each other a lot. All right. Enough of my reminiscing. So, I hope you like my channel. Jersey City boxing fan. I'm just a fan. I'm not an expert. So, you know, definitely the things I say are just my opinion, and sometimes, you know, you probably not even valid, but that's just what I think. So it'll be what I think. But thanks, and hopefully there'll be more videos upcoming. I plan on doing a bunch of boxing matchups, hypothetical matchups, and try to get my skills at video editing in there too. All right, peace out.